right, welcome back to the Anytime Sports Podcast Show. I'm your co-host Colin. I'm here with my other co-host Andrew, and we're ready to go over a good week 3 of the NFL, right, Andrew?
Yes, most definitely. We're going to have a quick, shorter episode today, but we're going to get all the good, juicy news that we normally put out.
We're going to start with NFL news, and do you want to kick us off with that, Andrew?
Yes, most definitely. First thing I'd say, really just came out this report. Zach Wilson medically cleared and expected to play Sunday versus the Steelers. I mean, Joe Flacco is cooking. That's really... Do you want to put... I guess Joe Flacco is there temporarily. You could put Zach Wilson in, get him some more experience because he is a second-year player.
I mean, yeah, the Jets were cooking, but I just definitely think that Zach Wilson gives him a better opportunity to win games. He's more athletic, and with that offensive line, you need a more athletic quarterback behind the gun. I'm hoping to see that he comes back and he does very well because we are big Zach Wilson fans here.
Yeah, most definitely.
Myles Garrett's car crash, right?
Yeah, he must have. I think, he got in a car crash 2 days ago. I don't think his injuries weren't life-threatening. I don't know if it's going to keep him out any time from the NFL. I'd expect it to be at least a couple weeks, if anything, but very, very important player on that Browns defense, most definitely.
News coming out of the Cowboys camp yesterday that quarterback Dak Prescott says he's unlikely to play against Week 4, but he's eyeing a return in Week 5. What are your thoughts on a Week 5 matchup against the Rams for Dak returning?
I think Dak is their best opportunity to do great. I mean, he is my quarterback in fantasy, too, so I'm always rooting for him to come back, even though I don't like the Cowboys, but...
The Cowboys are 2-1 with Cooper Rush at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. Cooper Rush is winning games. Who knows? I wouldn't be surprised if Jerry Jones says, you know what, let's go with the option. But I definitely think Dak is a better option than Cooper Rush at this point. Longtime Packers linebacker Clay Matthews says his playing days are over, unofficially retiring at this point.
I mean, he's been unofficially retired like the last 3 years, so...
I mean, yeah, future Hall of Famer, definitely for sure. I'm not a Packers fan, but I definitely can admit that he is. I don't know if he's first ballot, but I think he'll be in the Hall of Fame someday, or he'll be in Canton in some way, shape, or form. Quick hot takes. Jalen Hurts is gaining traction as the leading MVP candidate.
Huh. I mean, Jalen Hurts is looking a lot like Lamar Jackson in his MVP season, putting up the stats, putting up the rushes, completing those passes on the top of the pass leaderboard. Putting up those numbers.
I mean, I could definitely see that. I like that take. I really don't know about the Eagles as much as I really want to. I like their defense a lot. He's kind of lucky, I guess. But coming out of the Giants camp, Sterling Shepard is done for the rest of the season after tearing his ACL in Thursday's night game.
That's big.
Monday night game.
Yeah, that's big because the Giants were cooking. So.
Yeah, he was struggling with injuries last season too as well, and that's not very good. The Bills are signing veteran cornerback Xavier Rhodes for Mike.
Isn't he old?
He's old, but he came from the. He played with the Colts a couple years.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. I think he'll still be pretty good though.
Yeah, most definitely.
The Giants could trade wide receiver Kenny Golladay before the November 1st trade deadline. Thoughts on that?
I mean, he hasn't.
Kenny Golladay getting paid so much money to sit and do nothing.
He hasn't proved that he deserves to get traded. He hasn't proved that he deserves to get the money yet. He got the extension, but he hasn't performed. So.
Big news coming out of the 49ers camp. Superstar left tackle Trent Williams' ankle could be out for 4 to 6 weeks. What are your thoughts on that?
Big guy on that line, best lineman in the league, but yeah, that's big for the Niners. I mean, he's only out for a couple weeks, which is good, I guess, but one of those guys is gonna have to step it up.
What's up? I'll get lunch later, but coming out of the Patriots camp, Mac Jones is expected to miss some time after spraining his ankle yesterday. We all saw that famous photo of him getting carried to the locker room screaming in pain. Hopefully he's all right, but that definitely affects the Patriots' plans of winning.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. One of those guys
could be the next Tom Brady. We never know. We've seen the story play out before, and I'm not saying that would happen, but Rashawn Slater, the Chargers left tackle, suffered a rupture bicep tendon and is expected to miss the rest of the season. Huge news for that Chargers offensive line, a line that already got seen Herbert getting sacked so many times that he ruptured his rib cage. So who knows the longevity of this offensive line? We all know you win in the trenches. You win football games in the trenches, and that's your offensive line. That's your defensive line, and they have a very good defensive line. And I'm very skeptical about that offensive line.
Yeah. Last piece of news really that I saw, this one just came out. Jameis Winston held out of Wednesday's practice, expected to return Thursday. If he doesn't return, they got Andy Dalton, so we'll see what happens there.
I don't know if we covered this last episode, but this happened a while ago. Bill star safety Micah Hyde
Yeah.
had been put on a season-ending injury due to a neck injury. He's been put on IR, and I think that wraps up our NFL news segment. We're going to go into last week's games. We're not going to go through each individual game. We're just going to go through our records that we have. What was the records last week, Andrew?
Really, Colin smoked me this week. He had 6, I had 2.
I mean, which wasn't the case in the fantasy where he smoked me. And
Yeah. I did
but
smoke you.
it is what it is. Are you ready to go over week 4 NFL?
Yes, we're going to go over our picks for week 4.
Do our picks. I have to pull up the schedule here right
me too.
real quick. I'm prepared.
Most definitely this last week there were some really great games. Just to go over a few real quick before we get started, I want to say my probably top 3 favorite games of the week would probably be, I really like the Colts coming on top of the Chiefs. The Dolphins-Bills was a good battle.
You really like the... Oh, I thought you were looking at week 4.
No, I'm going over a couple highlights from games last week. And then another one that really stuck out to me was the Packers actually coming on top of the Bucs, even though I don't like to see it as a Bears fan, but Packers really held their ground. All right.
The Packers really struggled. They won against teams that can barely move the ball downfield, and I think that's it's another thing that I'll talk about later in the segment. But I think once we get to those 2 teams in week 4, that we could address more on that. But let's go to week 4, starting with the Thursday night football game. Dolphins traveling to the Bengals. Who do you have picked in this one?
I mean, red hot Dolphins. Also, Bengals are in the white uniform, so you don't know what's going to happen. But I'm going to say Dolphins in this.
Yes, another piece of news we forgot to mention. If you want to put up on the screen, I don't know if you will, the white helmets. Very, very nice. They looking very clean. They're feeling nice. They're going to be doing gritties in the end zone. But I'm going to say the gritting is going to be done by Mike Gesicki in the end zone in Cincinnati. Give me the Dolphins.
What another crazy thing is that helmet concept started off, I remember seeing it on Instagram a bunch of years back as like a fan concept. It's like, okay, what if the Bengals did this with the white uniforms? And now here it is. We're going to see it tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Let's head into the Sunday slate of games. Let's start with the... I think isn't there
We'll start with this one. Vikings-Saints.
Vikings. Oh, yeah, that's the game I was looking for. I was looking for the London game. I forgot who was playing in it. Vikings-Saints. Alexander Madison will be the starting running back of this team. Dalvin Cook's out with an injury right now. He's questionable. Who knows if he'll play. Harrison Smith is also out. Key questionables for the Saints. Alvin Kamara, and we have Michael Thomas on the questionable list right now. New Orleans is the home team in this one, but who knows when you go to London? Who do you have in the London game?
I think the Saints are going to pull out a victory for the Queen.
Saints pulling out a victory for the Queen. R.I.P. Queen. I definitely think the Saints have a shot. I really like the Saints, but I don't know about that offense. I really don't. I like that defense in Minnesota. And I like the fact
they both have great defenses.
Jefferson, he didn't have time to gritty last week. That means he's got more time to practice his gritty this week. He's going to be gritting in the end zone for about 2 touchdowns this week. Give me the Minnesota Vikings.
All right.
Let's go to the Bears going to the Giants. Who do you have in this game?
I mean, Giants coming. Giants looks like they're cooking. As a Bears fan, I got to say the Bears, but Giants do have a shot.
This is a 2-1 Bears team. A lot of people didn't expect. This was a very weak schedule for the Bears as well. The Giants actually got some quality wins over some opponents they really shouldn't have won. So I mean, these both these teams are too overachieving right now. They're in New York, so that's going to be a little bit of a difference. Velus Jones questionable for the Bears. Jalen Johnson is questionable for the Bears. Byron Pringle is on injured reserve right now. Sterling Shepard's out for the year. Kadarius Toney is on the questionable list. You got some notable names like that. Both these teams coming in scoring around the same points per game. Bears scoring 17.3, whereas the Giants are scoring around 18.7. I think this game's going to be one in the trenches. I think it's going to be one with the run game. And do you think? I know that the Bears got a good running game with Khalil Herbert. They had a good running game last week, but they're also going to need to throw the ball as well. It's going to be a battle of the turnover differential. I
Yeah.
mean, both these quarterbacks coming in with substantial interceptions. Uh, Justin Fields has 2 touchdown passes all year to his 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones has 3 touchdown passes for his 2 interceptions. And because I like Saquon Barkley as a better running back than Khalil Herbert, and I like that offensive line just a bit better, I'm going to go with the New York Giants for this
Yeah,
one.
most definitely is going to be a big running game. Personally, to me, I think that's running is going to be the big factor. We still is David Montgomery still questionable? Or is he good for the game?
Dave Montgomery is very questionable. I don't think he'll play this week. I think it'll be Khalil Herbert.
That's why I picked up Khalil Herbert in fantasy.
Yeah, I tried to pick him up, but it wouldn't let me, and I fucking drive Alexander Madison. I'm pissed about that. It was bad.
All right,
It's all right.
let's-
But heading into the 1-2 Los Angeles Chargers playing the 0-2-1 Houston Texans at home. Who do you have in this one?
I'm gonna have to say Chargers are gonna bounce back. I don't think the Texans were anything special. I mean, Davis Mills was cooking. He threw a couple picks. He gave up that big one to Roquan at the end. But I think the Chargers are gonna come out on top this week.
We all remember that one game at the end of last season
Oh my gosh.
where the Houston Texans absolutely destroyed the Los Angeles Chargers with a coach that wasn't very good at all. And Keenan Allen's hurt. You got the left tackle out for the year. What was his name again? It was
Sean
I
Slater.
clicked on Rashawn Slater. I clicked on the full injury report, and there's a lot of things. You got people like Joey Bosa. He's not going to play in the game. J.C. Jackson's questionable. Keenan Allen's questionable. You got all these guys that are very, very questionable. And the Houston Texans, if I'm not mistaken, are probably one of the most healthiest teams out there right now. Let me
Yeah.
check. I'm checking the injury report right now. It's like all these injuries already in the early weeks. Houston Texans, I stand corrected. They have a couple guys injured, and of course, I don't know who these guys are. No, nobody really knows. But these guys are hard out. In their last games they played very well, and they were hard out last week against the Bears. I'm going with the Texans in this one.
Yeah.
I think the Texans will do good. I think Damian Pierce had a career day yet last week, and I think if they can just lean off of Damian Pierce, take the pressure off of Davis Mills. I know that offensive line isn't great, and they haven't been great this whole year, but maybe they can do something. I know they can. This is a team that I'm picking the upset. I'm picking the Texans at home because this is what happened last year, and an injured Chargers, a banged up Chargers team coming into this one, 1-2. I don't see a lot of momentum rolling. I think the Texans still believe they can win games because they've been in close ones. Give me the Texans in this one at home.
Okay.
Now going to the other London game. That's the London game. Frick, I'm I'm losing it right now. Let's go to Browns Falcons. Browns traveling to the Atlanta Falcons Mercedes Stadium. Who do you got in this one? They're both kind of equally favored. Who do you
Yeah.
have in this one?
I mean, Browns are gonna have Myles Garrett out. Obviously, I think.
Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, both questionable for the game.
Yeah, probably. I'm gonna have to say the Browns. I don't think the Falcons pulled out a win, but that was against the Seahawks. So I think it's gonna be the Browns this week.
I do like the Browns in this one, and I'm going to go with the Browns as well. I just like how Jacoby Brissett's playing. I think he's playing very good. Marcus Mariota, he's playing very good as well. I just don't know as much. They've been able to get in some games, and they got to get some more passing to Drake London going here. I think he's developing as a very good wide receiver one, but I think he needs some time still. But I'm gonna take the Cleveland Browns in this matchup. Now heading to a noon game, the Commanders going to the Cowboys at A&T Stadium.
Um, I think the Commanders had an embarrassing game last week. I saw this one post. I'll put it up on the screen if I could find it. It was like 328 yards for the Eagles and -1 yards for the Commanders. It was like the passing yards. That was embarrassing for the Commanders. I think the Cowboys are coming on top this time, but that was embarrassing for them.
I love the Cowboys' defense. Honestly, I do love their defense. Uh, there's a lot of questionables here on this Dallas Cowboys team, but they're rolling. They win. They win games. They do well. They win games. I really like this Dallas Cowboys team. Who'd you have picking this one?
I picked the Cowboys in this.
You picked the Cowboys on this one?
Yeah.
I'm trying to talk myself into taking Washington, but they looked really, really bad last week.
Yeah.
Give me the Cowboys. I can't. I'm gonna take the Cowboys in this one. Cooper Rush has looked very good in his 2 games that he's played.
Yeah.
Give me the Cowboys.
Okay.
Let's head into the next game, which is the Seattle Seahawks traveling to the Detroit Lions. Detroit coming off of a blowing lead in the fourth quarter. Key injuries in that game. DeAndre Swift really was hurt during that game. So was Amon-Ra St. Brown, both playing hurt. That may have been a reason why they lost the game. Who do you have winning in this game?
I'm going to say the Lions in this. Lions looked hot when they are on fire. They looked hot. They obviously look better than the Seahawks, I think. Seahawks can pop off. They could win, but I'd say the Lions in this.
I hate to agree with you, but I do agree with you on this aspect. I think the Lions look very good. That Lions rushing game is the best in the league, hands down. When I look at that rushing team, I feel like this is the best rushing team in the NFL with DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams. I think these guys are very, very, very talented, and I think they'll get a win as long as they keep running the ball and maybe get some action off to the sideline to Amon-Ra St. Brown. I know he's kind of questionable with his ankle, but hopefully he'll play. DeAndre Swift, there's been talks about him. Dan Campbell coming out this week saying DeAndre Swift can honestly take a couple weeks off, and get healthy for later in the season, which I don't mind that idea. I think it's very good if you do that and just say, hey, just sit out for this week. You know?
Yeah, I think
that's kind of a smart idea. But the Seattle Seahawks, I don't know with their team. Geno Smith, he's looked all right. They look competitive. Yeah, you can go on. You can walk by. Okay. I'm recording still, but
yeah. But
say hi to the podcast.
What up?
Hey, what's up?
Where are you going?
But I'll take over real quick. I'd say most definitely the Seahawks. They do have DK still. They do have Lockett. I have DK in fantasy now. I have both actually, DK and Lockett. But Seahawks Lions is going to be definitely a matchup for the century. Like Colin was saying, I don't think that they should rush DeAndre Swift back right away. Save him for the end of the season. You could use your backup running back, use him for a bit, and then go on to DeAndre Swift towards the end of the season. All right, I'm going to move on to the next game now. Once Colin comes back, but let's go to Jaguars Eagles. I'm gonna go to that one. Obviously.
Which game? Yeah, Jaguars Eagles.
Jaguars Eagles. Yeah.
My bad. They just had to talk to me. So Jaguars Eagles. Jaguars traveling to the undefeated Eagles team. This is a very good game. A game that we did not know might be the game of the week. This might be the game of the week, in my opinion.
Yeah, Jaguars are coming off a hot win. Our Jaguars are looking very, very good this season. So, but I would say if I had to pick out of both these teams, I'd say the Eagles. The Eagles are just on fire.
Eagles coming with nobody on their injury list. The Jacksonville Jaguars have only a couple. Shaquille Griffin is questionable, but these teams are powerhouse teams coming into this one. Jeez.
Doug Peterson making his trip back to Philly, too.
Trip back to Philly.
Doug Peterson.
Jalen Hurts. He looks very good. Give me the Jaguars in this one. They're rolling. Their defense looks very, very good. I mean, Jacksonville's defense looked very good. I think Philadelphia's kind of lucked in a couple things. I don't think their defense is as strong as Jacksonville's. You shut out a Commanders team. Okay, that's easy to do. Well, the Jacksonville Jaguars shut out a Colts team that you had to stop Jonathan Taylor. Both these defenses coming in very good. Jeez, give me the Philadelphia. No, give me the Jacksonville Jaguars. I like this one.
Okay. All right. Moving into the next game. We'll do Colts Titans, the game we're going to.
Oh, geez, that's all the way down here on my list.
Yeah, mine was in order.
Where is this?
All right, Colts Titans. Both these teams coming off of actually pretty decent wins. Specifically, the Colts beating the Chiefs, sending the Chiefs to 2-1. Colts are 1-1-1. Titans are 1-2, right?
Yeah, 1-2.
Yeah. Really, it's gonna be a matter of, can the Colts get JT started and can the Titans get Henry started. Pittman was a big factor in the last game, though, for the Colts. So, I mean, if they could bounce back off of their win last week, I think the Colts got this one in the bag.
I disagree with you on the fact that it's going to be one on this offensive side of the ball. I think it's going to be one on this defensive side of the ball. Hey, look last week. The Colts contained Patrick Mahomes very good, and I think they'll get healthier and healthier. Shaquille Leonard, he's questionable. He might play this game. Stephon Gilmore is going to play. You got some guys that are coming back, or Stephon Gilmore played last week, but you have some guys that are getting healthy, and this defense is getting healthy at a nice time. They ended up winning against the Chiefs, was a very good win. We all thought they wouldn't win, but hey, this team's rolling. I really like this team, and I'm going to go with the Indianapolis Colts in this one. I don't think the Tennessee Titans really stand a shot. Who knows who's going to play in the next game? They won against Las Vegas, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a very close one. I like the fact that the Colts played with the Kansas City Chiefs a lot more than you beating the 0-3 Las Vegas Raiders. I'm going to take the Colts in this one because they're home. I'm going to take it because their defense. Their defense is going to go balling.
Yeah, most definitely.
Let's go to the next game. On my list, I have the Jets traveling to the Steelers. 1-2 teams heading to the next heading into an AFC matchup. Zach Wilson is playing in this game. He's coming back off of a I think concussion or something.
Yeah.
He's questionable for the game, but he's gonna come back. Minka Fitzpatrick is questionable but should play as well. Who do you have in this matchup?
Definitely gonna be a Zach Wilson bounce back game. Steelers, that could go for them as well. I mean, I have a Steelers defense in fantasy this week. I traded my fantasy, or I got a different defense this week. But I'm going to say the Jets in this. I think Zach Wilson's going to come back. He's going to bounce back and get the win.
Jeez, I hate to disagree with you, but I don't know. This matchup, it's a throw-up game. I don't like Trubisky. He hasn't played very well. It's not Kenny. I think you could see a possibility of Kenny Pickett maybe playing this game. Trubisky getting pulled out and putting in Kenny Pickett maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But damn, I'm going with the Jets actually.
Okay.
I really like this. The offense looks a lot better to me than Pittsburgh's offense. Of course Pittsburgh's defense is very good, but without T.J. Watt, I don't know how much they have of pass rush. They've got Cameron Hayward. Just give me the Jets. I'm overthinking this too much. Give me the Jets. I like the Jets.
Okay.
Let's head into the next matchup. The Bills traveling to the Ravens. Who do you have in this matchup? Very, very good AFC matchup right here.
Yeah, Lamar coming off of 2 very monster weeks. The Bills coming off of a close loss against the Dolphins. I mean, both teams are looking really hot. This is a tough one. I'm going to go. You want to pick first? I'll go whatever you don't go.
Oh, jeez. I'm going to look at this. Lamar Jackson's looked like he's having a career year. So is Josh Allen. They look very good. Last week, Josh Allen was pretty much contained. I think they're going to want to bounce back. I like Baltimore. I hate their secondary. I think their secondary has a lot of problems. Give me the Buffalo Bills in this one.
All right.
I think the Buffalo Bills will get a bounce back game. I don't know. This is a hard game to
It
choose.
is a hard matchup, but just because it's a hard matchup, I'm gonna take the Ravens on this because both teams are on fire right now. So I'm gonna take the Ravens.
Okay, let's go into. I don't even have my list up again. That's funny.
Let's go to a game we haven't covered yet, which would be the Cardinals and Panthers.
Cardinals and Panthers. Here. Okay, yeah, I got it. Cardinals traveling to the Panthers. Who do you have winning this game?
I'm gonna say the Cardinals, even though the Panthers are coming off of a win. They did look pretty good last week against the Saints, but I'm gonna say the Cardinals will come out on top this time.
I'm gonna say the. This is hard. In a close game, I don't like how the Cardinals have been looking.
Yeah.
Give me Carolina. I have more faith in Carolina than I do in the Cardinals right now, and I just don't know. I don't know. Kyler Murray just had one comeback, and without that one comeback, we would be talking about the 0-3 Cardinals right now.
Yeah.
And whereas Carolina's played in some games,
If Baker was actually
they've long lost in some very close games. So I like Carolina in a close matchup. Wait, is Brian Burns? No, Brian Burns not injured. He saw him go down last week. He's not injured, but yeah, I think he's gonna eat up. So I think give me Carolina in this matchup. Now heading to not Gillette Stadium, Lambeau Field, where the Patriots are traveling to the Packers with Mac Jones not playing this game. Give me Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I mean, Mac Jones not playing is going to be a big factor for this team because he knows that system so well. But I'm going to have to say the pass in this just as a Bears fan, I can't pick the Packers. So legally, I can't pick the Packers. So I'm taking the pass in this
I'm a
one.
Bears fan, but I got to be a subjective sports announcer here, and I will say the Green Bay Packers are winning this game. They look very good. They had a struggle last week offensively. I mean, their offense can't really perform against. They're lucky that they played low-scoring teams. If they played some juggernauts, I don't think they're winning games. So I like Green Bay Packers in this one, but maybe later in the season I'll not like them.
Yeah.
Let's head into the Broncos Raiders. Broncos traveling to the Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Raiders trying to look for the first win. Will they get it here, Andrew?
I think they will. Broncos have looked very sloppy the last couple of weeks. I think so. I think the Raiders will finally get their stuff together and get their first win at home.
I agree with you. I think a lot of Devontae Adams is frustrated about production and frustrated about losing 3 straight games in a row. I think the Las Vegas Raiders will do good. I think they'll win here and get their first win in Allegiant Stadium, and I think they'll start turning things around here. I agree with you. Hunter Renfrow out for the questionable for the game, and yeah. So let's go into
I think we got a Monday night, and actually we do have one more matchup and then a Monday night game. The matchup we forgot was the Chiefs Buccaneers. That is a Sunday night game.
Chiefs Buccaneers. Here, you pick first.
I'm gonna have to say the Bucks bounce back in this one. Both teams coming off a loss, but I think the Bucks have the better team.
Bucks offense looks terrible. I mean, they look absolutely terrible. Scoring only. They're 2-1. They score 19 points, 20 points, 12 points. They look so bad. Whereas Kansas City looks 44, 27, 17 loss. I like Kansas City in this one. I think Kansas City's gonna pull it out. I do like Tampa Bay's defense. But a lot of questionables on that side.
Yeah,
a lot of people hurt on that offensive line, too, and I like that offensive line of the Chiefs a little bit better. I do like the offensive line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now. I'm going with Kansas City in this one. They're going to get a huge win in a way.
Okay. Moving on to the Monday night game.
Monday night game, the Rams traveling to the 49ers. Give me the Rams in this one. I didn't like how the 49ers look.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna say the Rams or the Niners in this one just so I could try to get one over you. But I do agree this is gonna be a close game regardless.
Mm, yeah, I mean, Kyle Shanahan's record against the Rams is pretty good, but I like the Rams in this one. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like him a lot better than Jimmy Garoppolo. That looked a little bit. I don't know. Didn't look like Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yep. Wasn't too hot last week. All right. Let's move on to our next segment. ESPN
Our
Power
power
Rankings.
rankings. So we're going to go over ESPN Power Rankings right now. We're not going to go through each team. I'll just mention 5 teams. We'll start from bottom to top and agree if they're in the same. They should stay around the same place that they are. So I'll list the first 5 teams here. Houston Texans at 32. New York Jets at 31. Las Vegas Raiders at 30. Carolina Panthers at 29. And the Atlanta Falcons at 28.
All right.
Disagree or agree with any of these?
I would say I'd have to disagree with I maybe agree with the Texans at the bottom. I'd say maybe the Jets a little higher just because they did pull out the win against the Bengals. The Raiders maybe a little. I get their 0-3. They're not 30 because they still have Devontae Adams. They still have a solid defense. They're just not pulling out the wins. I'd say the Raiders maybe a little higher. Panthers, although they won, I could agree on that placing, but the Falcons, I think they should be a little lower if anything.
I agree on these placings. I think you have to put the Houston Texans down there because they don't have a win yet. Uh, you know what? I think you have to put Las Vegas Raiders. You have to put them below the Jets. And the
Yeah.
Jets are 31st. They got to win. They actually got to win. They did something that Las Vegas hasn't done. I don't know. I don't disagree with any of these. Majorly, but I think maybe Las Vegas needs to bump down a slot, and I think the rest of the teams are adequately ranked. We have Seattle at 27. We have Washington Commanders at 26. We have the Detroit Lions at 25. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers at 24, and we have the New England Patriots at 23. Disagree, agree with any of these?
I think I'd agree with that placement. If anything, maybe the Seahawks a little lower, maybe Commanders a little lower, but other than that, I'd agree with the placings here. Maybe.
I think the Detroit Lions should be where the New England be. I think they should be at like 23
Yeah, they should.
or 22. I like the fact that yeah, I'd put them at 23. I knocked down New England now and don't got a quarterback. Pittsburgh don't got a quarterback. Detroit's at least got a quarterback, and Washington staying the same. I think they should stay the same. I don't think it was a terrible showing last week, but I think that's not what they are going to be this season. But yeah, I think I'd move Detroit up just a little bit in those rankings. Then starting at 22, we have the Chicago Bears moving up from 28. They're at 22 right now. Then we have the New Orleans Saints at 21. We have the Indianapolis Colts at 20. We have the Arizona Cardinals at 19. And we have the Tennessee Titans at 18.
Yeah, I could agree on that. I think maybe the Bears should be a little lower. I know it hurts me saying that, but I mean, for being ranked at 31st.
So
The beginning of the
lower,
season.
they are already lower than the New Orleans Saints, the Indianapolis Colts, the Arizona Cardinals, all of which of teams that only have one win.
Oh, yeah, that
Would
is
you want
true.
to say they want to be higher, or would you say that they're adequately ranked?
I mean, I think as of now, they've won, but they haven't like proven their wins. It's the wins have been by just a couple points, but I think maybe they pull out another one they could be higher on the list, maybe over these teams that are above them right now. But right now, as of now, I think they're at a proper rating.
At 22,
I'll take a
yeah, I
22.
think they're at a prop. I think they're at a proper rating right now. I think that the Saints has a little bit more upside just because they have a little bit more offense. I think the same thing with Indianapolis, same thing with Arizona. They still have a threat of scoring, even though they haven't been consistent at scoring. I maybe Arizona Cardinals. I put down a few slots just because they've looked so bad and they've only got that one comeback victory. But besides that, I don't really have a major concern with any of these. Starting at 18, we have the Tennessee Titans. We have New York Giants at the 17th slot. Then we have the Dallas Cowboys at 16. We have the Los Angeles Chargers at 15. and we have the 49ers at 14.
Um,
Thoughts?
I'd say maybe put the Giants a little higher just because they have pulled out those wins and Saquon has been cooking, but their pass game isn't really strong. So I'd say maybe that's adequate. But I'd I think these are mostly accurate just because the Chargers and Cowboys haven't done so good, but they do have teams that have potential.
I'm gonna say the Giants should be ranked higher than the Cowboys right now. I don't know. I guess Dak out and they're still winning games. And Cooper Rush, that looks very good. Tennessee Titans, I don't know. I'd rather move them down.
Yeah.
I mean, they did get a win, so I guess they have to move up, but I don't know exactly. Los Angeles Chargers, they looked pretty bad, but their one win they had, they looked all right, so I guess so. San Francisco 49ers, there's always that threat that they can turn it on at any moment, and I get that with the coaching staff, the talent they have on their teams. It all depends on Jimmy Garoppolo at this point. Coming at 13, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we have the Denver Broncos at 12. We have the Cleveland Browns at 11. We have the Cincinnati Bengals at 10. And we have the Minnesota Vikings at 9. And I'm sorry, but the Cincinnati Bengals should not be ranked at top 10. I think should be ranked all the way down there. I don't like how they just got their win. I don't know. I don't like that offensive line. And if I'm the makers, I'm putting Jacksonville.
Yes, switch them.
I'm putting Jacksonville inside the top 10.
Yes, switch Jacksonville and the Bengals. Another one I really disagree with, although the Broncos are 2-1, they really haven't proved much this season. Russell Wilson has a 59% completion percentage. I don't think that's the greatest. Nathaniel Hackett, he's getting his stuff together. I think the Broncos should be a little lower, possibly at 15, but I don't think they should be near the top 10 as they are right now. Maybe the Broncos
up and down, maybe 13, 14.
Yeah,
but I think Jacksonville should be up there. I'm a big Jacksonville believer right now. The Minnesota Vikings are at 9. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are at 8. The Green Bay Packers are at 7. The Baltimore Ravens are at 6. And the Los Angeles Rams are at 5. Any disagrees or agrees?
I'd have to agree with all those. Maybe Ravens a little higher. I think they looked a little sharper than the Los Angeles Rams this past week, but Green Bay Packers, I think that's pretty good rating now. Although they're putting up points, they're still not putting up the greatest points they have in the past. But I'd say that's pretty good ratings.
Minnesota had a hiccup, but they ended up coming back to win. I like their ranking there at 9. I think Tampa Bay looks really bad. Maybe I'd move them down just a bit. Green Bay, I think I'd move up. I keep around the same. I like that at 7. Then at 6, Baltimore, I like that at 6. At 5, Los Angeles Rams. I think that's adequately ranked. Now heading into the top 4 teams, we have the Kansas City Chiefs at 4. We have the Philadelphia Eagles at 3. We have the Buffalo Bills at 2. And we have the Miami Dolphins at 1. Agree or disagree with any of these?
Specifically the top 3, if I had to change anything, I'd say right now I agree with it. But if I had to change anything, I'd say swap the Eagles and the Bills. Or maybe put the Eagles at 1 instead of the Dolphins at 1 and Dolphins at 2, Bills at 3. I think that's the only really moving around you could do.
I keep Miami at 1. I like Miami a lot more than the Eagles. I like Buffalo at 2. Even though they had a loss, it's not time to panic. He's still an MVP candidate. I think it's properly ranked. I think Kansas City at 4 is very good. Philadelphia at 3, and I like Buffalo at 2, and I like Miami at 1.
Yeah.
So, that looks like that's the end of the power rankings. And that looks like it's the end of our episode here at the Anytime Sports Podcast Show. If you do like it, please subscribe or like or comment down below. And we enjoy you watching our content. And we'll see y'all later.
Peace.
I like those colors,